Good afternoon. I'm Binyam Abune and this is Tarik Gebre. We are from Ethio Youth Media. Today, Tarik Gebre is going to be interviewing one of the candidates for Mayor, Mike Mcginn, about the issues that impact our community today. Thank you.
So I'm Tarik. It's very nice to meet you. Thank you for coming, and we really do appreciate you for showing up. And why we're doing this is just like I was saying before, just to get a perspective of how aware you are in the community, as well as how we can work together in order to help the community, bring the community together and like come up with a solution that every community is facing. So.
Well, I really appreciate being here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So what are your, could you please tell us, the viewers, about yourself?
Sure. I live up in the Greenwood neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 children, Jack, Neo, and Kian. My wife, Peggy. They're in public schools.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and I moved out here 20 years ago when I started law school. And I became a lawyer in private practice for 13 years, but also volunteer in my neighborhood of Greenwood, and formed a nonprofit. Quit my job as a lawyer a few years ago to form a nonprofit called Great City, whose goal was to bring together business and environmental and community leaders to talk about how we can make sure we grow our communities in ways that really work for everyone in the community.
Oh, great. Tell us your reasoning for running mayor, and exactly how you planning on to change.
Sure.
Issues.
I feel like we're in really serious times right now. The economy's really bad. There's a lot of people in need. We know we have issues in the community that need addressing. And I felt as if our current mayor, who's a good man, but I thought he had become a little more distant from the public, and that the public expected more boldness from their elected leaders and more engagement with their community. And since I've spent the last 20 years working in the community on different issues and different things, and I really care about Seattle. I love Seattle. I thought I would get into the race and give it a shot. I've focused on a few different things as being high priorities. One is education. I think the city needs to partner with the school district and partner with parents and the community better, not just on the school district itself, but on ensuring that kids and children are safe, healthy, and ready to learn. That we have preschool, early education. We have good after-school activities. We make sure we're identifying children that are at risk of dropping out of school and understanding why, so we can help keep them in school. Improve youth employment as well, not just summer youth employment, but maybe during the school year as well. And that we're giving children a pathway on education. So education and supporting children is a big priority. I've spoken about creating a green jobs program so that we can create more jobs in the community. Getting federal grants to help with that. Upgrading our internet infrastructure, going to fiber optic cable to better connect homes and businesses to the world economy and each other. And finally, transportation. I think we need a great local transit system. We're a growing city. We should have real mass transit. So I've spoken about improving bus service, expanding light rail, as well as being kind of the building blocks of a strong community.
Yeah, it seems like you have really great way of coming up, and connecting with the community. But really, what really sets you apart from other candidates?
Well, there's one other candidate at this time in the mayor's race. There's only 2 of us. And there were 8 of us at the start. And I really think that each of the candidates brought something to the race and their ideas, etc. So we're down to 2 now. And I do think that one of the things that sets me apart, there's certainly a different vision on certain issues. I'm much more focused on improving and expanding transit in the city of Seattle as being the right approach. And my opponent thinks we should put most of our money into a deep bore tunnel on the waterfront, which I don't think is a very good transportation solution in the long run. But I think the really big difference between me and my opponent is kind of the path we took to getting involved in the community and getting involved in running for the race. And my path took me through working in my neighborhood of Greenwood, volunteering within the Sierra Club and being a leader there for a long time. Even when I was in law school, I was head of the Graduate and Professional Student Senate And I worked on protecting, getting housing, married and family housing for students, and better health care benefits for student employees. Actually, they didn't have any at all, but getting them health care benefits for student employees. And these are the things I've worked on over the years, and I think it's a record of being able to get things done as well. I mean, we've achieved things. My nonprofit helped get a parks levy on the ballot and pass last year. So it's a real record of involvement and achievement in the community that I think is probably the biggest difference between myself and the other candidate for mayor.
So your main idea of improving, it's mostly like transportation-wise, the one that you're really focusing on. But what is it really like? What are your concerns in terms of youth in Seattle?
I think, you know, some of the things I mentioned earlier. I mean, I think the real challenge, and it's even harder when we have a tough budget and when we have high unemployment, but it's more essential than ever in those situations, is making sure that we are really working with community groups to understand how can we provide meaningful and relevant activities and opportunities for youth. That is that's either whether education, or employment or volunteer activity that helps keep them on a path to where they can be ready to succeed in life when they finish high school or when they head off to community college. So I think we have to really focus on providing those pathways and really involve the entire community in that, because there's no one single way for any, you can't predict how, the different paths that life can take you. I never thought I'd run for mayor, but if you can make sure you're providing people educational opportunities, good job opportunities, new ways to meet other people in the community, and we can create different pathways for people.
Great. Also, there has been a lot of violence going on in terms of in the Seattle area with gang violence and things. What do you think about that? What are
Well, I think that's the biggest. I mean, what I think is that children that youth that drop out of school or get pulled into gang violence, they're seeking a community of peers, support for, in their community, and we've got to give them a different pathway to have a community of peers that are doing something that's far more meaningful and productive in the long run.
In what ways would you can you be able to start that? So, like, maybe career, job opportunities, maybe?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think we have to be much more directed with trying to come up with money, whether it's getting money from the federal government, a stimulus money, or whether using our own resources to create employment, particularly for youth. And I think we also have to really reach out into the community and say, what are your ideas for involving youth in activities that can help train them for a future, or help give them good experiences, or help make school more meaningful to them.
Exactly.
And fund those community groups and support those community groups that are coming up with those ideas. Because I know, everyone in the community cares about their children and they want to work on it. So I think that's the role of government, not to come up with the solutions, but to listen to the public and to help come up with the resources and help organize within the community to support a candidate for mayor.